Hello Flosstube, Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here with my update number 384. Today is May, what is today, the 3rd? Could be. Yeah, the 3rd. It's Spring Mingle weekend, and I'm taking some time out from mingling. I did a little while last night, and then we had a showing today, so I ducked out a little early so I could do some preliminary work, so I wouldn't have to get up at the butt crack of dawn this morning. Because this morning I had to do the last bit, because I had to like sort of pack up my cats, so I don't want to pack up their food, water, and litter box until the last thing, you know. So anyway, we did all that, and then people came and looked at the house, and they decided that because our house backs up onto a busy street, and they had pit bulls or something, and they were afraid their dogs would jump the wall and get onto the street. And it's like, if your dogs are the type to jump the wall, there's no place in the city of Phoenix that you'd be able to have that security of the dogs not jumping, because our back wall is pretty high. And so if they were to jump that wall, that means they would jump over the wall to somebody else's house or another, I don't know. Anyway, it was a kind of a goofy, they seemed to like the house, but they just didn't like the backyard situation. I don't know. Anyway, people are crazy. But anyway, so I haven't been back to the Spring Mingle all day today, so I'm trying to make this, you know, quickie fast, my video. So in that vein, I am going to go ahead and start. Last month in April, I was finishing up my new starts. So I had the Fox Snow Globe. This is a freebie from TinyModernist. It was one of my new starts for April. And so I worked, I guess I worked on it a little bit last week, but I did some more. So the fox's eyes go here. This white is part of the face, and there's some another color up there, but so I did all the white, I think, except there's some like little, you know, one stitch, 4-stitch kind of little snowdrops around there. But yeah, so there, you know, and some presents go here. You can see the shape here, and this is part of the fox's tail, and then the boots and legs, and you know, and so forth. But so yeah. So I don't know that I'll get back to it right away, and you know, until, you know, I don't know, next year or something like that. It just depends. I don't know, because it looks like May, June, July, August are pretty busy for, you know, stitching wise. So I don't know. This is Frostbite, which is another WIPGO new start for April. This is Ardith Designs. MacNaughton is the designer. So this was my other April new start, because I had my whips were for April were the Jackrabbit, which I showed last week, and what was the other one? Oh, the Barn Owl. Yeah. So I showed those before. So this is Frostbite. So I did a little bit more on Frostbite. I finished the off-white up here. His little nose is missing because it's part of, it's the same color as this big the round expanse here. So I haven't done that yet. And then I did a few just till the end of this thread here on the white on the body. So this, most of this is white. There's some other colored gray, other colors down here, but the kind of scarf thing that he's wearing is finished, and the buttons and everything, and then the little arms, those are all done. So I haven't decided yet, because on the color out here, because this is it was designed in some other kind of floss. I think Presencia is what it's called. Something, but it had a DMC conversion. but in the DMC conversion, a couple of these are that this you can use $37.99 or this blend, which is this color plus this color. And so I haven't decided whether I'm going to use $37.99 or the blend. I have to look and see which one I prefer. But so, but I also I don't know when I'm going to get back to this. So this is April, and since I didn't have a specific goal for either of those new starts, technically I hit the goal, and so whatever. So again, I don't know when I'll get back to that. When that's coming up, whatever. Yeah. So then for May, I just did one day on my WIPGO pull for May, and this was something that I worked on last month for my dad's birthday. This is a little memorial stitch I designed for my dad. So this is called Wayfaring Stranger, and it has a couple of lines from the old hymn. I am a poor wayfaring stranger while traveling through this world below. I am just going over Jordan, I am just going over home. And then my dad's name and dates underneath here. So this is what I designed to commemorate my dad. And so I worked on it really just one day, maybe 1.5 days. I put it back in the hoop, but so I did work on some of the border. I'm almost done with the border, and I finished the words. Move this out of the way here. I finished the words, and I put his name and dates down here below. Also, it's very tiny. This is a very again. I don't know what the count on this fabric is. It's at least 46, maybe 50, because it's just sold at Hobby Lobby as embroidery fabric. So it's not really technically cross stitch fabric, but it has you can make out the little holes. It's 1/2 on this fabric, and so all the lettering is done. And there's just this little bit of border, and there's it's kind of dense stitching for the River Jordan here, and then there's another grassy area with one sheep here, and then some backstitched fish on the river here, and then I have to put in all the sheep. So I may be able to finish it when I get back to it. I think after this weekend, probably I'll work on it some more, because during the spring mingle. So anyway, this is WIPGO. So I've only done one of the 7 days of my goal for that. So we'll get back to that. And then, so like I said, this weekend is the spring mingle, by Lindy Stitches, and I know you could still get tickets as of yesterday or Friday. You could buy them up until it gets started. I don't know if you can buy tickets during the event. I don't know, but yeah. So I did that last night. I signed up for that, and there's nothing that you're required to stitch on. I could have stitched more on everything I had, but I decided to do a new start for spring mingle. And so one of the things, so I decided to do Mouse's Snow Day. This is like the 4th of these mouse patterns that I've done. I've completed 3 of them. So this is Mouse's Snow Day. A little mouse and the Canada goose there, and some flowers and a tree and a lot of snow and stuff. So this is what I decided to start, and this is really just 1 day, maybe yesterday, and a little bit today. I did this darker blue here today while my sisters and I did our 3 Sisters video. So I stitched a lot of the white, like just snowflake kind of things, and the snow on this tree. I did the tree. This is complete, And then this is the little house over here. There's some of this dark blue goes on the rest of this house, and then black to finish the roof and stuff. And so these are flowers that are down here. That's, you know, flowers in the design here. And I did the little white of the cheek of the goose, the candy goose. So I've done like, yeah, 2 of these flowers here. I haven't done this or the white on the mouse or down here yet. Because I'm basically going, you know, what I can count to. And it's a little hard because this is 30 count fabric. I'm gonna put my hand back here, 30 count fabric. And so, and because it's dark, it's a little, you know, it's hard to count. I'm very wary of counting long distances because I'm like, count again and count again so that I'm not making any mistakes and, you know, trying not to. So anyway, so this is the bottom of the mouse's little dress here, and the apron will be right here. But so yeah, so it's coming on. So I might work on it some more for this weekend, you know, when I get back to the spring mingle. And then also, speaking of spring mingle, Stitchy Prose had a freebie called the Lavender Grower that was offered at spring mingle. So it says Spring Mingle 2025, the Lavender Grower. So yeah, it's very pretty. So this little bird has a needle and thread in its beak. So pretty. Yeah. So, so that's all the stitching that I've done. For the rest of May, I have the Raccoon, which is a Cottage Garden Samplings, part of their Year in the Woods series, and what was the other one? Oh, that Wayfaring Stranger. So those are my 2 main WIPGO things. I mean WIPs for WIPGO. But also, so I had a little bit of haul. The other day, a couple weeks ago, I talked with my sisters about how I really want to do punch needle. You know, I have a subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and very often there are punch needle patterns in there that I really like. But and I watched Mona Pfeiffer has a great tutorial about doing punch needle. And I felt like I really understood it when I watched her video, but I'm always like kind of chickening out about doing the actual, doing an actual punch needle. And so my sister, one of my sisters, my younger sister, had suggested that I just go and buy like a little punch needle kit thing, like at Hobby Lobby or whatever, and that way it's already printed on the fabric for you and stuff, and all the threads are provided. And so she said that way, you know, it's just a little kit, nothing kit from the store that, you know, you don't have to worry about if you mess it up or whatever, you know, but you could practice on that and then do a real one from the magazine or whatever that you really like. And so to that end, I went ahead and bought this. This is the little kit from Hobby Lobby. This little sloth. That's cute. And so it comes with all the threads and stuff, and you can see under here the pattern is, you know, sort of printed on there, so on the fabric. So yeah, you can see a little corner of the fabric down here. So at some point I'm going to try this sloth. I'm putting it out. I don't know when I'm going to start it. Anyway. Then the other thing, I had talked about the cross-stitch camp challenges for this year. I'm doing cross-stitch camp. So June, July, and August are going to be a lot of stitching for me because I will still have the June, July, and August WIPGO numbers. so that'll be, stitching that I'll do. And again, my goals for the whips that I have are 7 days. So technically that leaves, 2 weeks to do my other, my new starts. And there's nothing that says I have to stitch all day on that one, but then I will also have the cross stitch camp challenges. And so it's a lot of stitching, but it's going to be fun. So the June challenge is, if you're a nighttime stitcher or a daytime stitcher, you stitch some kind of motif, some pattern that has some kind of motif that designates whether you're a daytime or nighttime stitcher. And my older sister had suggested this pattern from Silver Creek Samplers, and this is called Celestial Sisters, Biscornu. Sorry about the glare there it goes. So it has on, the two sides of the Biscornu, one is this nighttime picture, basically, and the other is a daytime one. And then you put them together, as a Biscornu. So, yeah, so these two, so it's kind of a lot of stitching. It's only 77 by 77, so it's not really that big. But so I'm hoping that. But this is really for me because I stitch during the day and I stitch at night, and so having this this pattern really reflects that. So that's my June challenge. The July challenge is stitch something by your favorite designer, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do for that. But when I was ordering that, I came across, because I just had put I didn't know the name of the pattern, Celestial Sisters, and so I just put Biscornu in 123 Stitch is where I ordered it from, and so I just put to show me all their Biscornu patterns, and I came across this one. This is Starry, Starry Night. It's inspired by the Van Gogh painting, Starry, Starry Night. And this is a Starry, Starry Night Biscornu by Cosford Rise Stitchery. And so I'm thinking that I want to do this maybe in August, because August is Stitch Something New to You, and I've never stitched anything by this designer before. And I really like, there's a moon, and there's the sun, and there's stars, and shooting stars, and whatever on your clouds and things it looks like. The one thing is, I don't think there's a good picture that shows both the front and the back of this, a photograph. Of course, the pattern is there. And the only thing is, the pattern is nice and big, but it's a little too big, because it's like 4 pages for the front and 4 pages for the back. They're big, big patterns, so it's, but at the same time, it may be too big for my brain, because, it's bad enough when you have like 2 pages of a pattern, and even if it has the gray overlap, these stitches are are repeated, so you can see how they line up. It's harder when there's 4 pages, because you have the top 2 pages and the bottom 2 pages, and and so it's easier for me to see it all at once. So I may, if I can, maybe I can reduce them, to make a working copy that's smaller. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, but it's only like 100 by 100. So and of course it's not all stitched, This model was stitched on 36 count Mystic by Picture This Plus. So I'll see what fabric I have, because typically I stitch on 28 count. I have some 32 count, and I do have 46 count. But the 46 count I have is sort of a neutral color. I think it's called oatmeal or something. It's an Artiste brand from Hobby Lobby. And I don't know how big it is. It's big enough to accommodate, both pieces. And for this, I would probably dye it a little darker color if I can. And then this one is stitched on Ada, on 18 count Ada, sapphire moon, sapphire for the moon and cornflower for the sun. From Fiber on a Whim. And this is, like I said, 18 count, so basically 36 count. So I'm not sure what fabric I'm going to use. I have to go through my stash and see what I have. But anyway, so that's what I'm thinking of for summer cross-stitch camp. And since I came across it, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Anyway, so I am going to wrap this up. I think. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to show you was my sister gave me this little T-Mobile little tote bag thing. It was, T-Mobile does some kind of giveaway thing every month, and they happen to have this little tote bag they were giving away. And, the other day I had talked to my sister, like, I would kind of like just like some kind of project bag. My sister makes project bags. We have them on our Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative. But, I haven't like said, oh, make me a project bag. I have one or two things that she's made me. But, well, right now she doesn't have her sewing machine. It's in storage. A lot of things are in storage. But, so like if she's going to sew a project bag, she's going to sew one for the Etsy shop. And so I don't have her make them for me, So the ones I use typically are these inexpensive ones from Amazon, the little zippy bags. So I had several of those because I had bought a package of them from Amazon, but I had several empty ones and they're in storage. So the ones I have stuff in them, have projects in them. And so I'm kind of like cramming, several projects in a bag. So I was kind of like, I bought bags like in the Target dollar spot. Sometimes they'll have like a little kind of makeup bag or whatever, but they're typically like, 8.5 by 11 size basically. And so oftentimes I can just use those as project bags because they're just, something to stuff all the bits and pieces in. But I hadn't picked up anything like that. I hadn't seen anything like that lately. I just, and so I was just kind of thinking, maybe I'll look and see if anybody has, and then you came across that, she said, oh, look, T-Mobile's giving away these little tote bags. And so she very kindly gave that to me. So lately I've just been like throwing all kinds of stuff in there. But, yeah. So anyway, that is all I think I'm going to do today, because I'm going to get back to mingling, spring mingling, and Eve's waiting for me to finish doing my update so she can go back and because I'm kind of in this, in the shared space in the house. But now I'm going to go back to my room to do spring mingle, to continue on with that. So anyway, I think that is all I have for this week. And yeah, so until next time, if you haven't already subscribed, be a subscriber, like this video, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video, which is typically every Saturday. So until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.